Hello, welcome to episode 3 of Debasement Dad. We are sticking with silver this episode as silver is hot, and quite honestly, I've had some new people already subscribe to the channel from the last couple videos, and like I said, I'm new. I follow other people on YouTube for advice on things that I would like to do with silver. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't claim to be. I no, just no. I've made a lot of mistakes up to this point, and for all I know, this could still be a mistake in the long run. But I'm taking all spare dollars out of the market, out of the banks, and I am holding them as physical tokens, like such as silver. That is one debasement strategy that I have. I have two other debasement strategies I am working on. I will make videos on those eventually, I promise, but the silver ones seem to be doing pretty good right now, and they are the way that I can be most helpful to people that are new to the space, looking to get into it, or are new, have gotten in, but maybe they're just looking for another opinion type thing. I don't think you can go wrong with silver at 60 an ounce, 65 an ounce still. My personal opinion, once again, not financial advice, this is just how I feel. I think given the supply shortage, given the amount being mined versus the amount being consumed and produced, I think silver could see, I'm not going to make a price prediction. I think 60 is still not quite the tip of the iceberg yet. I think we have a ways to run still. I was almost going to give you a price prediction, but I don't want to put that on my channel and have it come back on me eventually that, hey, I told you guys this and it never got to that or whatever. I'm stacking for the long haul. I'm stacking for physical weight. My kids, my 4 kids, age 6, pair of twins in the middle at 4, and my soon-to-be 3-year-old daughter, they can physically hold this money. This is physical money, tangible. It's not a paper currency that is a promise to be worth whatever they say it is. Not a fan of that idea given the last couple years and this current year and the way things are going. That being said, please give me your comments in the comment section if you're new, if you're experienced. It doesn't matter. We're all in this together. Especially as countries are buying it up by the metric ton, we are all in this together by the ounce. So that's probably the biggest thing. I'm going to take life lessons from other debasement strategies, other people I follow, and things I've learned. And I'm going to put them into this video for you, and we're going to go from there. I was hoping this was going to be a shorter video. I don't know if it's going to be, so just bear with me. I don't script my videos. I don't try to claim to script my videos. I just wing it, man. I just call it as I see it, call the shots straight, and a lot of people seem to like that, so let's go. My current stacking strategy is 1 eagle, 1 generic round, or 1 state sovereign round. That is the equivalent for the ounce weight, and then 1 10-ounce bar. So here's 1 generic round, here's a generic round, there's a 10-ounce bar, there's an eagle. So boom, there you go. That's my current strategy. Every time I buy an eagle, I buy a generic round, generally for a little bit less, and then I also buy a 10-ounce bar. That also gives me a little leeway. Tip number 1, with at least what I've found locally, do cash deals. Don't buy on cards. Don't give them the paper trail of running this through a credit card machine. They would, the stores are likely to add on tax. They're likely to add on the credit card 3% fee, whatever it ends up being in your local area. Don't do that. It's better for the shop. It's better for you if you pay in cash. They can use that cash, turn around, buy other people's silver, buy gold, buy whatever, or just take it home and pay a bill. So support your local store. That has also created some relationships for me that have been extremely beneficial. I'll give you an example. I walked in, so there's 2, so 3, 4, and 5. I bought those 5 10-ounce bars at one time. That's 50 ounces. I don't remember what the price was on them. It doesn't really matter at this point. It was lower than what it is now, so I'm up, so I'm winning. So I bought those 5. I think it was 60 an ounce, so it was like $3,000, and that was what the spot price was. Their premium had it at like 3,300 for the 10-ounce bars. I got them to come down, I think 100. I want to say it might even been $200 just to take those off their hands because they're generic. But also, I was picking up a bunch at one time. I think it was my 3rd or 4th time in there after buying single, getting here, I'll match quantities. Nolan Ryan's 1 ounce silver coin. Like, so there. Oh, there's actually 6 10-ounces there. I'm sorry. So here, 6 Eagles and 6 generics to prove a point. So there, you got 60 ounces, 70. You got 80 ounces right there, and that's in that shot. But the idea here was, I did straight deal cash here. They gave me a cut off the top. Didn't charge me tax. Didn't charge me credit card processing fee. Saved me money on the back end. It was a paper deal, and they got to do straight cash. So just something to keep in mind. Here's a different 10-ounce bar. The other thing I will say is, if you do straight rounded deals, 800, 1,000, whatever, if you can talk them into 10 Eagles at 65 a piece for 650 and you have 700, maybe you can talk them into 2 half-ounce rounds. Let me see if I can pull this one out of here without breaking this plastic here. There's a half-ounce round. At the time when I bought this, it was marked at $28 a half ounce. I had $800. I think I had $800 on me, and I think my total bill was like $790. Instead of being $820, they just chipped this in. So I ended up getting this for like $15 or so, give or take, when silver was $40 an ounce. So I ended up saving $5 basically on what the value of a half ounce was. That doesn't sound like a lot, but now continue to add up. Every time I do a deal, I'm saving money off the current spot price. All of a sudden it starts to add up, and eventually after a couple deals, after a couple moves, you're saving an Eagle, you're saving 2 Eagles, etc. So now you can go buy those Eagles, you can go get those Eagles. Here's a couple different 10-ounce bars that I have. Second thing, I'm not an experienced stacker, but after talking to my local store, the one bar they've had for over a year they can't move is a 100-ounce bar. They can't get a buyer to commit to a $6,000 bar, $6,500 right now at the current pricing. Even if they drop the premium below spot, they're not finding people willing to commit to the $6,000 for one piece of metal. That told me a lot, and it actually backed me off buying that bar from them strictly for the weight. As I told you, I stack weight. I don't have any 100-ounce bars because in the event of an absolute collapse or I need cash quick, that bar isn't moving, even from a local dealer that's trusted with over 4.6 stars on Google with hundreds of reviews in my local area. That tells me all I need to know about that. If you have a lot of money and you can move a lot, great. If not, stay away from 100-ounce bars, in my opinion. I have found for weight versus movability, 10-ounce bars are the best. 5-ounce bars, you get a little bit of a higher premium on the 5-ounce bars when you're buying them. And if they're generic, a little bit harder to move, but quick, liquid. Everybody's buying Eagles all the time. They don't really say no to Eagles. And then generics, you can just, that's strictly stacking the weight for 1 ounce, but it's also a quick hit. A little bit, you might get a little bit below an Eagle off the premium, but it's a good move overall just for holding ounces. 10-ounce bars, most average people in the silver space can pick up a 10-ounce bar no problem, or they might trade an ounce or two and then put some cash on top to make the deal right. So for me, 10-ounce bars are as high as I'm going in my personal stack. In the deep stack, I won't be adding a bar heavier than that. I like them. They're easy. My kids can lift them. So a couple more Eagles, a couple more silver bars. The third thing that I will say is, if you can find a local guy who's in the space, and he's got no overhead from like owning a shop or whatever, you can generally even work down a premium from there. I've got a guy local to me. He runs a bullion. Actually, it's actually scrap. He runs a scrap thing out of his house, and he'll pick up people's scrap from them, and then he'll go melt it and smelt it and all that. But what that does is that frees up cash for him. He goes and buys collections of metal at certain times, and then he'll price them out to me. Eagles were $75 an ounce on AppMex the other day for random year silver Eagles, and they're pre-selling the 26s at $76 an ounce. This 2017, I picked it up the other day for $64 an ounce when silver was $67. Silver tipped $67, and he moved that Eagle to me for $64. So I was $3 under spot for that Eagle that particular day. And if anybody knows anything about premiums, Eagles usually command the most. So to be able to pick up a Silver Eagle for $3 under spot is a huge deal. So the other thing I will say, and this is just me, a piece of advice that I learned along the way is, and this goes for all of my debasement strategy. Buying today is the discount of tomorrow. Generally speaking, if you look back, and not all the time, but that's a good principle to live by. If things are always designed to go up, stock market's only designed to go up. Even with the '08 crash, if you'd held through that, you're up way higher than what you were before the crash. So silver, if you'd bought it at $17, $18, $20 an ounce back in the crash of 2020 with COVID and all that, you're looking at 3x. Like that's huge. And I don't think we're done running yet personally, but one of the things I've learned is buying today is the discount of tomorrow. That is a general practice that my wife and I have started to live by since I heard that. The other thing that I will say, and this is kind of putting on a tinfoil hat, but also being a realist, the rich don't like to lose money intentionally. So that's one of the other things I've learned is the rich will try desperately not to lose their money. They won't risk it in bad things. So the reports of JP Morgan hoarding silver, the China, Russia, India buying silver, using silver for transactions, etc. Why? Why are they doing this now? Why is China putting an export ban on January 1st of silver being exported? Why did the United States put silver as a critical mineral when we need all these data centers to go up for AI and for the AI bubble and all this crap? Like, I don't care if the AI bubble pops or whatever. Like, silver is silver. It's being hoarded by other countries. They're using it for their electric cars. They're using it for solar panels. The list of industrial uses go on. It is the most conductive metal we have on the planet. It is better than copper. It's just not as cheap. Therefore, copper is used. But when you got critical, holy crap, urgent fire, wiring you need done, silver wiring is expensive, but it is the best wiring you can have for conduction. Silver paste for the solar panels. Holy smokes. You can't make solar panels without silver paste. And then, to follow that up, like these new solid state batteries that Samsung has announced, they're going to need a whole ton of silver for that. So I don't think we're done seeing the industrial use case for silver. Whether it's ally or foe of the U.S., it doesn't matter. I don't think we're done seeing it, which therefore is going to create even more deficit on the use versus what's being mined, which means all this is going to get bought up and refined, smelted, etc. Mine will not, because I'll be holding it. But you go look at my short that I did. My short the other day, my kid was, taking our card shop profits and turning it into, silver bars. And that's one of the things he'll ask me. So how did we do today? How many bars do we get today? How many silver eagles do we get today? He's 6 and he already knows, we're going hard into this. Every chance I get, I'm buying dollar cost average in. If I've got $800, I'm dollar cost averaging what I can get out of it. If I have $1,200, I'm dollar cost averaging what I can get out of it. I'm not buying just $200, but I'll buy what's safe for the family. It doesn't cut into our bill spending, and I will take that and debase that money out. And I don't care if it's $60. I don't care if it crashes and goes to 40. I get to buy more at that point. I will start collecting more and more. If the stack starts to get too heavy, I will then convert some silver out to gold. I have not to this point. I have a couple of fractional pieces of gold just to make rounded deals at the local store to not have to break change. So just something to keep in mind there as the gold silver ratio continues to decrease. It could be, if you're an experienced stacker, a chance to maybe swap out some weight for a lighter store of value such as gold or even platinum at this point, if that's your fancy, at nearly $2,000 an ounce. That's insane. But platinum's got a high use case too. So anyways, just some information for you guys. This is a little longer than I wanted it to be, but it's life lessons from on the street in my local area. Give me a like, leave your comments in the comment section. Please leave a subscribe. Share this video with your friends that are in the space or that are thinking about getting into silver. This is a life lesson from a dad with 4 kids, just trying to make it work. So, and the dollar is losing buying power every day. So it feels every day anyways. So, like I said, Like, comment, subscribe. Eventually I'll do a video of the full stack, but as of right now, I don't have enough time to do the full stack video in these videos. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm looking forward to hearing your comments in the comment section or your tips if you're an experienced stacker and I missed something that's good for beginners. Let's do this thing together, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Debasement Dad,